Aaron, first of all, mate, thanks for inviting me around, and good to see Stella here as well, mate. Obviously, doing a little bit of, I guess, awareness of muscular dystrophy, in particular, the Duchenne strain, which is what you and your brother have. You've been in the house for about 2.5 years, which is a long time. It must have been pretty tough to adjust.
Yeah, it took a while to get used to being here, but sort of didn't have much of a choice. So I sort of just had to get used to it, but uh, that's all right though.
Stella wouldn't do
So,
it. At what point did you think? Did you find out it was time that you had to stay at home? What was that? At what point did you have to realise that was the time?
it was sort of like it got to the point where it was getting too painful to get in my chair anymore because like the muscles around me spine and me neck and all that are sort of starting to like deteriorate a bit more. So it sort of got to the point where it was easier to sit up in bed and stuff like that. Yeah.
It would have been no doubt very tough to sort of come to terms with early stages as you progress through.
Yeah, I'd sort of started getting to the stage of needing to stay in bed a bit more often. So I'd sort of got used to being in bed during the day. So yeah, it was all right in the end.
We've got a hijacker for the interview, just quietly. What are some things you get up to day in, day out? You've got a pretty good setup around here, I must admit. It's, to keep yourself occupied, obviously, you must watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, we got a lot of TV. Got the Foxtel set up so we can record heaps of shows, and I sort of keep myself busy with Facebook, and like that's my way to the outside world. And we have a couple of websites that we run. When we met Kid Rock a couple of years ago at the Bon Jovi concert, and he asked us to start running his Australian fan site, so that keeps us busy as well. I had my radio show on 3-Way FM on the community radio, so I did that for about 5 years. That kept me busy, and it just got to the point where it just took a lot of energy out of me to do it all, so I ended up giving it up, but still got the website running.
And you're a Hall of Famer, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I got inducted into the Hall of Fame. That was pretty cool. I didn't expect that at all, so that was cool.
It must be so frustrating for you and Chris, knowing that there's no cure for this particular disease, and that ultimately it will get the better of you. How do you do it, mate? Like it must be. It's give us an idea of what goes through your head.
I suppose it's sort of from when we were young. We were always our parents never made it a big deal that we had it. Like it was just the way it was. So we sort of don't dwell on it too much, and you just sort of have to accept it, I suppose. And we had two older cousins. They've passed away already, so we sort of know what's coming. Like so, you sort of I've sort of got myself prepared for it as much as you can already, I suppose.
And you mentioned your cousins, and that's essentially what led to your diagnosis ultimately, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the youngest cousin. I think yeah, the youngest cousin Zach. They tested him and found that he had it. So then once they did that, you just test everyone in the family because it's a genetic disease.
And it must have been very hard just to see what they went through, like to be a cousin first of all, to basically see it happen.
Yeah, it was hard, especially the first cousin when he went, like, because you sort of were prepared for it, but you weren't ready for it to happen when it did, and he was the youngest one too, so you sort of expect it to be the other way around, but then yeah, it happened like that. So, and it was sort of it was to me it was hard to watch. We've got one cousin, Jason, that he doesn't have it, so like it was hard to watch him have to go through that knowing that he doesn't have it. Like it must be hard for him to do that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Another fantastic thing is the work that your mum and your dad do, and of course the dogs, the guard dogs.
Yeah, that they decided they wanted to do it themselves without any carers, so like that's just their personal choice. But they they do a lot to look after us, and like I don't think people realize exactly how much they have to do because they have to do everything for us. And yeah, I don't think you could imagine how tiring that would be for them. Like they're just as soon as we need something, they have to do it for us.
Despite this disease, you've led pretty normal lives, which is amazing.
Yeah, we tried to live as normal as a life as you could, and we've also done some really cool things. So like there's pros and cons to it. Like obviously I wish I didn't have this, but we've been able to meet a lot of great people as well. So you sort of have to look at the positives, I suppose.
Certainly right. And what do you find the most challenging? What does your head in the most about the whole thing? There must be so much, but what's the thing that really drives you crazy? Is it because you can't crack a beer, or what's some things that just get to you?
The thing that probably gets me the most is other people that don't realise, like, when they're wasting opportunities in their life and stuff like that, because you can see, like, I'd love to be able to do some things that other people just take for granted, but you can also understand why people don't realise that, because they haven't been in the same situation. So it's probably more stuff like that, and just not being able to go anywhere now, that's not very fun, but it's good with Facebook and stuff like that. You can still sort of talk to everyone and keep up with everyone.
Gloria, you're out there. That must be nice for you to go out there and I guess wheel out and enjoy some sunlight.
Yeah, there was an idea that Mum and I had when Chris was in hospital early last year. We were looking at the doors and they weren't very wide for me to get the bed out there. And we're like, what if we open that all the way up and then we can push the bed out there? So it's good. I can go out there in the sun now and get some fresh air as well.
You said sunbake last week to the boys. Do you do a bit of sunbaking out there?
Yeah, the first time I went out there, my legs went red within like 5 minutes because I hadn't seen the sun for a while. I was like, okay, I better get out of the sun now, but can't stay in the sun too long.
Slip, slop and slap, mate. Now, your foundation, Muscular Dystrophy Awareness Warrnambool, the Facebook page, it's got something like 3,500 people on it. Just explain the main driving force behind the page and why you and Chris are working so hard at it.
Well, we just want to make sure that the next generation don't have to have this disability in the world. So we're just trying to raise awareness and as much money as we can. There's a couple of different charities that we have been given some of the money to, and we've been selling the green shoelaces. So that's sort of a way to get a bit of funds out there for Save Our Sons is the Shen Foundation, and then Muscular Dystrophy Australia as well.
You've had a lot of support from some pretty cool people. You mentioned Kid Rock. I know Joel Selwood and a couple of the Geelong boys are right behind the cause. It's amazing to see that how much support you've been able to get.
Yeah, it is, and look, pretty much the whole Geelong Football Club, they've always been really good to us, and they've got us inside the rooms a few times, and we always went down to training, and then even Jimmy Bartel, he retired last year, and then this year he actually drove all the way here to Warrnambool just to see us again because I hadn't seen him for a while. So he just wanted to catch up, and he came all the way down he was in Melbourne and came to Warrnambool just to catch up with us.
Amazing, mate. And not to mention the local support as well. I know the Murphy boys, Nathan and Mark, they had a cricket day, organised that. You've had the Seahawks, Nathan Sobey, who's doing very, very well. They're right on board with the shoelaces and the foundation. We live in a pretty cool place, don't we?
Yeah, it's good to just see the community spirit, and there's a lot of people that we might not really know them personally, but they know who we are, and it's just cool to know that people care. And when we had the fundraiser and all that sort of stuff, you just don't realise like how many people are actually taking notice of what's going on. So it's good to know that everyone is thinking about it, and like everyone wants to help us raise awareness as well.
How can people find the page, mate?
Yeah, so it's just facebook.com/Muscular Dystrophy Awareness Warrnambool.